What's up everybody? I wanted to make a quick video and just go over kind of what I'm running on the Helix. I've had a number of people asking what I do to create my sound, where some of these things are coming from. I know I've had interest in my presets, and I'm happy to help anybody kind of get the settings that I have. I'm constantly tweaking. I think the best thing you can do is never lose that creativity, never lose the passion to refine your sound. Quick thoughts and rundowns on what I have. Here is my effects chain, and I'll go through it all as it runs on the effects chain. So it goes first through a compressor into a preamp, and my preamp, you can see down here on the pedal, is an AC-15 that I have set with the drive way up, master all the way up, channel volume pretty far up. I generally run that almost as a clean-ish overdrive, and then I run straight out of that into a tube screamer here, followed by my volume pedal, followed by my reverbs. I run my glitz reverb first. I've got a whole reverb coming out of the glitz, followed by a tremolo, a 70s chorus, and then we drop down here into another chain right below it. All this is running continuous until we get to our amps, and I'll go over all that in a minute. But then I've got a tape delay set up, followed by a POG. Then we drop down here, and I have another delay set up. It's the Elephant Man settings on here, set up very similar to what a Memory Man is. But then I have a boost pedal. They have different boosts in here. I know if you go in the overdrive distortion setting, there's like a kinky boost that gives you boost. Personally, for a boost, I want a clean boost that all it's doing is engaging the signal and boosting it a little bit more, so that in instrumentals and solos and things like that, I come up just a hair. So I run just a gain pedal with an additional 2 decibels of gain. So when I hit it, it just comes up a little bit, and I'll show you that in just a minute. And then we come to this place in the pedal chain, and I have it splitting. Now, the split literally just runs around this top amp and IR, and channels in a second amp and IR. Reason being, if I'm running stereo at church or if we're out playing, I want 2 separate amps hitting everything. That way you get 2 very clear, distinct signals. But then I have, it's an AC-30 that's set with the volume and the master both at 10. The drive is actually way down. I keep it pretty pulled back, and I allow my overdrives to create all the big driving factor in my sound. Then right here I'm running, it's Tone Factor's AC-30 2x12 blue Alnico, goodness, I can't talk. Blue Alnico speaker settings. David Hislop and Tone Factor work together to create these IRs. I love them. I think they're one of the coolest sounds that I've had out of a pedal. Recommend them to anybody. Over here I have an EQ set up. At the end of all of my channels, you'll see this return. It's a very pointless channel, so ignore it in my effects chain. I have it set up so that when I'm practicing at home, I can run an iPad or my phone into the pedal through the return and listen to the song in my in-ears while I'm practicing. All right. Grab my guitar. I'm going to go through and show you all kind of everything that my general sound has to offer. I'll play just a couple chords and notes with nothing but the amps, EQ, and compressor on. None of the actual effects are running, just so you can kind of see how dry it is without the effects. all times, I have at least my preamp, which is that AC-15 that I've got running pretty driving, along with a dotted eighth note tape delay for most songs. Occasionally I'll flip it out and I'm running a quarter note by itself. Most of the time I have that dotted eighth going, and then I'll either run a Hall or my Glitz reverb, depending on a situation. So if I'm playing more rhythm-based chords in a song and I'm not trying to be too heavy, I'm usually sitting here on the Hall. If I'm playing prettier, softer things, especially in verses of songs, I'll usually have it pulled back. A lot of times I'm splitting my pickups. I very rarely am running just the neck pickup. It's either usually just a bridge or I'm split in the middle. But I'll play the Glitz. I've always told everyone the Glitz on the Helix is that feeling of being in the clouds. Flip to a bridge and you start getting a little bit more of that push just here. So you start getting a little bit of punch. And that's kind of where your difference in your two reverbs comes in. I've got this POG set up. I don't play a POG very often. About the only time I do is if we're playing House of Miracles at church. And it serves the purpose. I've got my Tube Screamer. It's my favorite pedal in a pedal chain ever. I like going big and heavy. And I usually have my tone ran all the way to the top. I don't know if you can see it there or not, but I have my tone all the way up. Once you get that Tube Screamer going with the other pedals, you start getting a lot more crunch. But with the way that the amp and the IRs are set, it's not clean, but it's clear. And I love the way everything flows together. You can hear all the parts the way you should. Big chords, it works for that. It's not going to get too muddy. But when you're playing more of your higher single note stuff, it creates a really good driving effect to all that. That extra little level, doing that with the Glitz on instead creates so much more atmosphere with it. In big moments in a bridge, being there with it instead, I think it creates an awesome big effect for worship music and that. And then obviously adding the boost pedal in where it belongs in certain moments is always fun. It helps just push that note a little bit more. Makes it real fun. I've got chorus pedal up here. I think the chorus adds so much in certain moments like that. Now again, it's not something I'm going to use a ton of, but I like it where it belongs. Same with the tremolo pedal. I think a tremolo pedal has a great effect to it. Got my Memory Man delay here that I like to throw in on certain things. I generally won't run both together. Every now and then I will. But I have it set on a quarter note delay. And then I've got it set, inside of it gives you the option between like a mode. So you have a coarse or a vibrato mode on it. I like vibrato. I like getting a little bit more kind of feel out of it. That's the basics of my typical pedal that I'm running, or my typical preset. I'm on this one 95% of the time. It's hard to go wrong with. But yeah, that's my basic setup. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm glad to go over any of it with it. If you're interested in the preset, reach out. I'm happy to share it with people. I love tweaking with stuff. I'm always open to suggestions on things that I can add, or if you have a preset that you like the sound of but you're missing something, I'm always here to answer any questions. Thanks, guys.